Hello, I hope you're all doing well. It's been a little while since I last posted a review. I've just been very busy since I got back from New York and all the reviews that I was posting from that. But today, I had the opportunity to go and see CLYDE'S at the Donmar Warehouse. Now, I saw a matinee. I paid £41, but I got upgraded when I got there because some booked out area that I guess a party didn't turn up to take was being offered to other attendees. And so I basically got bumped forward a row and slightly more central in the circle. And I went into this not really knowing anything about it. I quite often purposefully do that with theatre just to try and make sure that the magic of the experience is as fresh as it possibly can be. And that meant that I thought I was going to see a show that was 3 hours long and had an interval, and it didn't have one. It was actually just an hour and 40 minutes, and it was all set inside one singular scene. It was all set inside CLYDE'S restaurant. Now, the 30-second synopsis of the story, without any spoilers, is that CLYDE is a woman who runs the restaurant, and she employs several ex-convicts, and the story revolves around the relationships between all of them and the way that they carry themselves in the world, let's say. It's a very limited cast. It's just CLYDE herself, played by Bemisola Ikumelo, and the four other actors are Patrick Gibson, Giles Terera, who you might have seen in Hamilton, I think he was the original Aaron Burr in Hamilton over here. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what his role was there. Sebastian Orozco and Ronke Adekaluwajo, whose name I did have to look up the pronunciation for on Wikipedia. I'm really sorry if I've butchered that one. I tried my best though. Incidentally, Ronke was actually my favorite performer in the show. They were all good, don't get me wrong, but her character just felt like it was portrayed in such an accessible way. Like, you know, when you can just sort of feel the humanity like leaking out of an actor while they're performing, and you feel for every step they take on stage, every wince that they make, every smile that they have, it all just feels like something that wraps you in. That was what she was able to do. I thought Ronke did a fantastic job there. I also have to say, Giles Terera has so much stage presence. My goodness. That man steps onto the set and instantly you are locked on. You can hardly take your eyes off him. He's fantastic. I think that is sort of no surprise given his career, his illustrious career. But I don't want to take away from Patrick, from Bemisola, or from Sebastian. I thought that they all did fantastically as well. I will say that out of all the characters, Patrick's character, this guy called Jason, I think it was, although it could have been JC and just pronounced in a way that I was not super sort of clear on. I'm pretty sure it was Jason though. He is, to some extent, quite comic relief for much of the show, I think. He plays this part of a new employee at the restaurant, and so he's learning the ropes, but he's a tough ex-convict, and so there's some comedic dynamic there that they kind of lean into. But he really emphasizes all of the kind of goofiness that comes with that, where some of the other characters did slightly less so, I think. And that's not really a critique, it's just to say that it's clearly an acted performance with him, because he is acting the fool in that sort of sense, compared to the performances of some of the others, which didn't really feel like acting. It almost felt like I was watching that real person on stage behaving in the way that I would almost expect them to do so. Now, in terms of the production itself, the story itself, I personally wasn't enamored with the show, but I thought it was very good. It just didn't move me as much as I was hoping it would do. It had a lot of really important values in it, shared through the medium of gratitude and appreciation of food. And I liked the way that they used just the creation of a simple sandwich to illustrate some much bigger topics and themes in all of our lives. But I didn't feel like it really actually got its fingers in and gripped me in that kind of emotional sandbox. Like it just didn't quite get its talons in. And I don't think that was due to the actors' performances by any means. I think it was just the nature of the show. It's the nature of the book, I think, in some respects. It's certainly enjoyable. The comedy is certainly enjoyable. There were a few moments where I fully was just laughing out loud. Like, it was good in that regard, but I felt like it never really dazzled me. It never really felt like I was having to really introspect and think, oh wow, yeah, that does speak to the demons in me or the voices in my head that are kind of haunting me on a daily basis, just as these convicts are being haunted. Like, it never really got there, nor did it give me a new layer of compassion or of sympathy for the characters that were in the show, or really managed to tap into that pity even potentially. It just didn't quite get there. And I wonder, maybe the fact that it all takes place in the restaurant and so they're somewhat limited as to what they can do is a contributor. I don't know. I don't want to write off one location shows by any means. I think that those can be very, very good. But for whatever reason, this one just didn't quite push my buttons and stimulate me mentally in the way that I was hoping it was going to, maybe. And so for that reason, this isn't a 5 stars for me. I think it's probably not a 4 either. I think for me personally, it's probably a 3. I try not to do half stars on here, so I think it's probably a 3. But I think I'm being pretty harsh with that 3. If I was going to do half stars, I think it would be a 3.5. I think that many of you watching it may go and find it to be a 4. It's an hour and 40 minutes, so it's not wasting your time. It delivers a punchy story in that time, which I appreciated and respected a lot. I also just love the Donmar Warehouse as a venue. I would gladly see every show in the West End at the Donmar. I think that it's just a really, really great place to see theatre. I adored Next to Normal there. That was a straight up 5 stars for me for sure. But yeah, this one didn't quite hit for me in the way that I was hoping it to, but still a very strong show and one that I would recommend you to go see. I think that many of you will find it to be a kind of 4-star experience. It just didn't quite get there for me personally. If you've enjoyed this snappy little theatre review, then maybe drop me a like and even subscribe to the channel. I post theatre reviews on here. And let me know what show you might like to see a review from me on next that's currently in London right now. Can't be in New York. That plane ticket is too damn expensive. For now, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.